Thank you very much, Mr. Umut. Our next speaker is Dorothea Sulzbacher. Is that okay, Dorothea? Who studied law and business administration and is a recognized expert in the irrigation of plants in the urban sector. Has held various international top management positions, including responsibility and sustainability at Austria's largest international group, OMV, which bought Petrol Ofisi in Turkey, among others. She therefore knows Turkey very well, where she was responsible for sustainable projects. In 2016, Dorothea founded the company LITE-SOIL, which produced customized geotextiles as water storage and underground irrigation system. Please welcome Dorothea.
Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, thank you for having me here. I want to talk about water storage and subsurface irrigation solutions for the gardening and landscaping business. My colleague before already told about the issue regarding climate change. The summer are getting hotter, becoming hotter, less and less rain, so we have really an issue. So here are some examples from Spain, Vienna, Switzerland, where you can see that the plants don't grow. So conventional surface irrigation with sprinklers or drippers have of course also advantages. So they are cost effective, you can do a visual check, they are easy to automatize, they are flexible and you can renew it anytime. But there are also some disadvantages like the evaporation of valuable drinking water, the wind drifts the water away, the drip tubes or sprinklers get damaged by UV, heavy loads or vandalism. We have really a high water consumption, as of drinking water. Mowing or walking is not possible during the irrigation. You have always the risk of surface felting and with soil compaction, and there is really a high sensitivity to climate change. So our solution is to do subsurface irrigation with non-woven textiles. The idea is to do the irrigation subsurface so that the water goes exactly where the plants need it, to the roots, and is not dripping somewhere away or you have evaporation. 1 kilo of the material, of the non-woven material, stores 10 liters of water. So up to 70 water savings can be reached compared to surface irrigation. It's ideal for peat-free soil because it's also good for aerification. You have a high water conductivity and a really high aeration effect, a better greening effect. It's cost effective, and it's also ideal for sandy soils and deserts. I think in Turkey you have more sandy soil. It's easy to lay, it's flexible, and it's also a protection against erosion, and you have less soil compaction and matting. The material is made up of a non-woven, as I mentioned, and contains only 10% material. That's the enlargement of the non-woven, so you can see it mainly consists of air void, 90%, and that's the reason why it can store that much water. Also in the pores, an extremely large amount of air and water can be stored internally and distributed capillarily. We have 3 different materials. The first 2 are biologically degradable. One is made out of 100% cellulose, which stays for 1 to 2 years. The second one is 30% cellulose and 70% PLA. This stays for 5 to 10 years. And then we have a long-lasting version made out of polypropylene. So I hope this with the video works. Can you click to the play of the video? These are the light strips. As I said, 1 kilo store 10 liters of water. The material is really strong, and if the roots are getting dry, they are pulling out the water out of the material. So really 100% of the water is available for the roots. Then here I've also a video, maybe you can click here. This is has basically the same function, but it also distributes the water over a large area. So you have a lawn, a soccer field. You put it roughly 10 centimeter into the ground, and the water is really distributed over a wide area, and the roots can pass through the net and dock onto the material and are pulling out the water. And that's our latest innovation, where we use a drip irrigation tube and we cover it with a non-woven covering, a geotextile, so the little holes are saved, they can't get stuck, and also the roots can't grow in, because the roots are always looking for the water. So it's very often that the drip irrigation tubes get damaged. And compared to subsurface surface irrigation, you have 70% less water, and you can also play or mow the area during irrigation because it's underground. It's very flexible, it adapts to any terrain. If you have a tree, you put it deeper. If you have a lawn, you put it higher. It's quite cost effective in the end. Of course, at the beginning you have to invest, but in the long term, it's cost effective. Yeah, also this is shown how it works. And with this non-woven covering, the water contact between the tube and the soil is 1,000 times higher. Then you install it like a floor heating system in a serpentine. We did also investigation studies with universities and also municipalities. So we compare coconut mat with the light net regarding slopes. And the greening effect is much, much higher with the light net. We did also some studies with the light strips, and they store 8 times more water compared to similar products. And this was an interesting study we did in Holland with a municipality. They planted trees with our net, which we put around the root ball of a tree, and without the net. And the irrigation was just rain. This is possible in Holland. And you see the yellow bars are the trees without the net, the blue are with the net. And especially when there was no rain, the water humidity around the root ball was 3 times higher. Yeah, here you can see one of our first examples. This was in Upper Austria. They planted trees with the net and without the net. And after 7.5 years, you can see the outcome. The left is with the light net and the right tree without. Yeah, so we have many applications. This is for trees. Here we use an already manufactured light net for the typical size of the root ball of a tree. You just put it around on the root ball. The roots can pass through, dock onto the material, and it's good to put also a net in the tree pit so the roots can really grow deep and the tree grows grows big. We won also the Innovation Award this year, also 2 years ago, with the LITE-Net for Trees at the Galabau in Nuremberg in Germany. Yeah, also the tree net is used, I would not say all over the world, but in Europe, in the USA, in the Emirates. It's quite cost-effective and very easy to install. And if you have to irrigate the tree just one time less, you have the amortization. You can also use the underground irrigation system, the blue light net system for tree. Here we put a drip irrigation tube with this non-woven covering as a ring and put it on the light net, or you can do it also like the picture shows it in this heating system form. You can use the light net for lawns, for soccer fields, for slopes. This is also a study we did with the municipality in Vienna. On the right side in a park they use the net, on the left side not. Yeah, for slopes. It's also good against erosion. Roof greening, here the advantage of the low weight is also important to mention. It's very light, the product, therefore also the name LITE-SOIL. Yeah, you can use it for raised planting beds and pots, also little pots for hobby gardeners. You just put some of the light strips in the pot and it's quite easy. Yeah, that's more and more common to use pots for trees because it's always a space issue. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.